Hello everybody and happy Halloween. My name is Lindsay and I'm here in the Dick Institute Museum with all of my friends, the animals that live here at the Dick Institute. Now, we have a very special story to tell you on this Halloween, and it's the story of the naughty wizard who stole the moon. So all of the animals here love Halloween. They love getting dressed up and they love going out trick and treating. We've got little Miss Field Mouse here. Here she is. She loves getting dressed up, and this year she's thinking of getting dressed up as an ear of corn or a stalk of barley. Good idea, little Miss Field Mouse. And here's Mr. Owl up here. Now he doesn't get dressed up, but he always comes out at night and he likes to fly over all the boys and girls that are out trick and treating and keep a very watchful eye on them and make sure they're all safe. So good job, Mr. Owl. Well, as I said, this is the story of the naughty wizard who stole the moon. So this happened a couple of years ago. All the animals woke up on Halloween Day and they were really excited. They were really excited. They couldn't wait to go out trick and treating and getting dressed up in their spooky costumes. Now, it was one of those mornings in October where the sun was shining brightly in the sky and it was very crisp and very cold outside. So the animals had their breakfast and they went out to play. And eventually lunchtime came and they gobbled up their lunch. Not long to go, they said, looking at their watches. Not long to go. So they spent the afternoon playing games and eventually dinner time came and they gobbled down their dinner. And they got dressed up in their spooky costumes and they got their trick and treating bags ready and they were all ready to go out when they noticed that there was something really odd going on, something really odd. And the sun was still shining bright in the sky and the moon hadn't yet come out. Now, the animals couldn't go out trick and treating if the moon wasn't out, because as you all know, boys and girls, when you go out in your spooky costumes trick and treating, you go out when the moon's up high in the sky and when the sun has went to bed. So this was really odd. So the animals sat and they waited, and it was 5:30. And they were thinking, well, I think the sun should be setting by now and the moon should be rising up into the sky, but there was no sign of the moon. And time went on and it was 6 o'clock and still the sun was shining bright in the sky like it was midday. And still no sign of the moon. And the animals began to get really, really, really worried because without the moon, they couldn't go out trick and treating. And Halloween wouldn't happen. What were they going to do? Well, little Miss Field Mouse, a little clever mouse that she is, suggested, why don't we go to the wisest animal in the museum and ask him what has happened to the moon? That is a good idea, little Miss Field Mouse. Why don't we? So all of the animals went to visit the wisest animal in the museum because he always had the answers to any problems that the animals had. So if you follow me, let's go and visit the wisest animal in the museum. So here we are, boys and girls. Now can you all guess who the wisest animal in the museum is? Well, it's Brian the lion, of course. Yes, Miss Littlefield Mouse, Brian the lion. And I'm sure you all know who Brian the lion is. So all the animals came and they asked Brian the lion, Brian, what's happened to the moon? It's not coming out, and if it doesn't come out, we can't go trick-and-treating. Oh, said Brian the lion, I know what's happened to the moon. The naughty wizard came last night and he pulled the moon out of the sky and he hid the moon inside this crystal. Oh no, little field mouse, what are we going to do? What are we going to do, Brian? How are we going to get the moon out of this crystal? Because if we can't, then Halloween is cancelled. Well, said Brian the lion, I'm going to give you some special poems. In this envelope are some very special Halloween poems, and if you say them, the moon should come out of the crystal and you can put it back in the sky. So, little Miss Field Mouse, let's go back to all of the animals and let's read our Halloween poems. Thank you, Brian the lion. You are the wisest animal in the museum. Let's go, and let's not forget our crystal, because that's where the moon's kept. So here we are, boys and girls, back with all of the animals, and we've got our crystal. And as Brian told us, this crystal contains the moon. That's where the naughty wizard put the moon. And he gave us this top secret document that contains poems, and Brian told us that we must recite these poems, and the moon will come out of the crystal. So let's give it a go. So here's the first poem. Are you ready? It's called 100 Scary Skeletons. 100 scary skeletons rose from their stony beds, a-clattering their chatterbones, a-rattling their heads. Many a dreary year they'd been laid deep in the dankness below, until one night at Halloween they thought they'd take the air. So up they creaked with groans and moans and danced a jig or two, while through their scattered chatterbones the evening breezes blew. But what a noise of knocking knees and crack of head on head, oh, came wafting on the midnight breeze, enough to wake the dead. Still no moon. Okay, girls and boys, let's try poem number 2. Now this is quite a short one, so I think you could join in with me. It goes, pumpkin smile and black cat grin, time to let the spooky in. Let's try it again. Pumpkin smile and black cat grin, time to let the spooky in. Pumpkin smile and black cat grin, time to let the spooky in. Boys and girls, look, there's a little moon. Little Miss Field Mouse, look what we've done. What's that? But the moon is still too small. It's not all out of the crystal. Oh no, so we need to keep going, boys and girls. What's the next poem that Brian told us to recite? So we've got some of the moon, but not all of the moon. And you can see, I can see some of the moon still trapped in the crystal. Okay, so let's go again. What have we got? Oh, here's a good poem, and it's called A Great Big Owl. So Mr. Owl, you can help us with this poem. A great big owl in a great big tree, on a night so dark you could hardly see, was watching the lights in the deep ravine where the witches danced on Halloween. Nothing much is happening. Let's read it again, boys and girls. A great big owl in a great big tree on a night so dark you could hardly see was watching the lights in the deep ravine where the witches danced on Halloween. Boys and girls, the moon has got bigger. It's working, our poems are working. But I can still see some of the moon still in the crystal. Okay, right, we're on the last poem, boys and girls. I really hope this works. So, you've got to sing along with me. We're going to sing it a few times so that we can try and get the rest of the moon out of this crystal. When the witches go riding and black cats are seen, the moon laughs and whispers, it's near Halloween. When witches go riding and black cats are seen, the moon laughs and whispers, it's near Halloween. Let's go again, boys and girls. When witches go riding and black cats are seen, the moon laughs and whispers, it's near Halloween. Boys and girls, it's the moon. It's appeared. Yay! Well done, everybody. Well done, animals. Well done, little Miss Field Mouse, for that great idea of going to visit the wisest animal in the museum. We've got the moon back. Yay! So Halloween can happen and all the animals can go out trick and treating. Oh, they're so excited. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take the moon and I'm going to go outside and I'm going to go throw it up into the sky. And so later on, we'll see you out tonight, trick or treating, and if you look up into the sky, you'll see the moon shining bright. Happy Halloween, everybody!